Test.
Singapore radar, good evening, Scooter 385 passing flight level 100.
Scooter 385 Singapore radar, good evening, squawk 2220.
2220, Scooter 385.
Singapore radar, China Eastern 155, we are climbing to flight level 330.
Chinese 155 Singapore radar, good evening, identify, climb to flight level 320 final.
Climb to flight level 320, China Eastern 155.
Scooter 385 identified, cleared to Singapore Carto 2 Alpha arrival, expect ILS runway 02 left, descend to 4,000 feet, QNH 1008.
Carto 2 Alpha, runway 02 left, descend 4,000 feet, QNH 1007, Scooter 385.
QNH 1008.
1008.
Singapore 890, direct merging, climbing 360.
Singapore 990 Singapore radar, good evening, climb to flight level 360, proceed direct to Dolox.
Hello, climb level 360, Singapore 890.
Scooter 385, fly heading 265.
265, Scooter 385.
Just 764 Singapore radar on this. Scooter 385, descend 2,500 feet, turn right heading 280.
2,500 and right 280, Scooter 385.
Scooter 385, maintain 180 knots until 8 mile final, thereafter 150 knots to 4 miles.
Speed 180 until 8 knots current there after 150 until 4, Scooter 385.
If Scooter 385, turn right heading 350, cleared out approach runway 02 left.
Right 350, clear ILS approach 02 left, Scooter 385. Scooter 385, established ILS 02 left.
Scooter 385, roger. Continue approach runway 02 left, contact Singapore Tower 118.6. Good day.
118.6, Scooter 385, good day. Eight miles.
Scooter 385 Singapore Tower, good evening. Surface wind 360 degrees, 7 knots. Runway 02 left, clear to land.
02 left, clear to land, Scooter 385.
sail that departure flight level 2.
Singapore 990 Singapore radar.
Singapore 890.
990 observe to level 380, confirm last instruction to maintain 360.
Apologies, sir. 360, Singapore 890.
990 at this time, level 390 available, advise else descend to level 360.
Get the 390 instead?
90 roger, climb to level 390.
0, Singapore 890, thank you. Scooter 385, vacate whiskey 5, turn left whiskey.
Star 764 Singapore radar.
Good evening, Singapore radar. Jetstar Asia 764, apologies, we're having some V-pilot issues. I hope we're sorted now. We are currently descending through flight level 240, just past Gunnard.
Asia 764 Singapore radar, good evening. Squawk 2224.
Squawk 2224, Jetstar Asia 764.
Asia 764, identify, continue on the Carto 2 or Carto 2 Alpha arrival, descend to flight level 160. Expect the ILS approach runway 02 left.
Continue descent on the Car-22 Alpha arrival, descending to 160, and we'll expect the ILS for 02 left, Jetstar Asia 764.
Asia 764, descend to 4,000 feet, QNH 1008.
At 4,000 feet, Jetstar Asia 764. day single approach, Jetstar Asia 764, descending to flight level 140 for 4,000 and inbound Vimal.
764 Singapore, approach hello again, descend 4,000 feet.
Descend 4,000, Jetstar Asia 764.
Cathay 7106, Singapore Tower, ring on frequency. November 2349, contact Singapore.
Singapore approach November 2349, climbing to 3000 feet.
2349 Singapore, approach good evening, identify, climb to flight level 150.
Flight level 150, November 2349.
Two three four niner, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
123.7 Singapore radar for November 2349. Good night.
Four six. Thank you very much, Cathay 716. Sure. Singapore, very good evening, Cathay 716, 2000 for 3000.
716 Singapore approach, good evening, identified. Climb to flight level 150, cancel speed restrictions.
Flight level 150, cancel speed restriction, Cathay 716.
Zero approach, Jetstar 764. Is it possible if we could take Bay Golf 6 or higher when we're on the ground? I could take the Golf, just I haven't got GSX profiles or anything below 6.
764, Roger, expect 10 Golf 6.
Thank you very much. Expecting Golf 6 for Jetstar HS 764.
Seven one six, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
Was that for Cathay 716?
71, contact radar on 123.7.
1237, have a great evening, Cathay 716.
Within Singapore Tower, Singapore 178 to check the hotel front to Tango 12 with you.
Singapore 178, good evening, Singapore Tower. Tango 12 is the next on the left.
Roger. Tango 12 next, Singapore 178.
764, descend 2,500 feet, fly heading 270.
Winds via Tango 12 are 360 degrees, 07 knots. Initial climb 3,000 feet, runway 02 center, clear for takeoff.
Rear Tango 12, runway 02 center, departure of Singapore 178.
Roger, 764, approximately 15 track miles to touchdown, reduce speed 180 knots until 8 mile final.
Singapore Tower, good evening, Singapore 964, Boise Tiger 12.
Singapore 964, Singapore Tower, good evening. Hold Tango 12.
Tiger 12, Singapore 964.
764, turn right heading 350, cleared ILS approach runway 02 left.
Rating 350, cleared ILS approach for runway 02 left, Jetstar Asia 764.
Singapore 178, you're giving takeoff clearance, are you okay?
Take off north. Apologize.
Singapore 964, line up and wait, runway 02 center.
Line up and wait, 02 center, Singapore 964.
6 Singapore, approach good evening. QNH now 1008, descend to 4,000 feet.
Descend 4,000, QNH 1008,
runway 02 center.
Singapore 178, contact Singapore approach 124 .6. See you.
Singapore 146, thank you. Bye-bye.
Singapore 15 uniform with you, holding point Tango 12.
Good evening, Singapore approach. Singapore 178, runway 02 center.
Singapore 125, uniform, hold at Tango 12, please.
Singapore approach good evening, identify, climb to flight level
Hold
150,
Tango 12,
cancel
uniform.
speed restrictions.
Climb to flight level 150 and cancel speed restrictions for 178.
Six, expect further track shortening to Semco in about 15 miles. Seven six four, maintain 150 knots until 4 mile final. Contact Singapore Tower 118.6.
Singapore 9064, surface wind 360 degrees, 07 knots. Initial climb 3,000 feet, runway 02 center, clear for takeoff.
Initial climb 3,000 feet, clear for takeoff, Singapore 964.
Good evening, Singapore Towers, Jetstar Asia 764 with you, 7 mile final, runway 02 left.
Jetstar Asia 764, Singapore Tower, good evening. Surface winds 360 degrees, 07 knots. Runway 02 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 02 left, Jetstar Asia 764.
And Jetstar Asia 764, expect Bay Golf 6 on arrival.
Affirm, speaking Golf 6, Jetstar Asia 764.
And Singapore 125, uniform, line up and wait, runway 02 center.
Line up and wait, 02 center, 15 uniform.
Singapore 964, contact Singapore approach now, 124.6. Bye-bye.
124.6, have a nice day.
Proceed direct to Semco.
Singapore Tower, good day, Air India 2108, ready.
6 Singapore approach.
Air India 2108. Continue taxi, hold Tango 12.
Continue taxi, hold Tango 12, Air India 2108.
500 for 3,000.
Singapore 9064, contact Singapore approach now, 124.6.
64 Singapore approach identified, climb to flight level 130.
Climb level 130, Singapore 964.
6, apologies, as a mic issue earlier. Turn left direct to Semco.
Left direct Santos, Swiss 176.
Singapore Tower, hello, Jet 812 in sequence, runway 02 center.
VACC, continue taxi, hold
Contact
for
Singapore
Tango
radar
12.
123.7, good night.
Continue taxi, hold Tango 12, Jet 812.
178, contact Singapore radar 123.7.
Radar 123.7, Singapore 178.
And Singapore 125 uniform, surface winds 360 degrees, 07 knots, initial climb 3,000 feet, runway 02 center, clear for takeoff.
64 turret direct to
Clear for
Gures.
takeoff, runway 02 center, 3,000 feet, sorry, after departure.
And 64 proceed direct to Gures.
And Qatari 1250, line up and wait, runway 02 center.
Qatar 1250, line up on runway 02
64 Singapore approach.
On runway 02 center.
Sorry, wait for Singapore 964.
64 affirm, proceed direct to Gures, climb to flight level 150.
Proceed diagraph, cancel flight level 150, Singapore 964.
Confirm, climb to flight level 150.
Climb flight level 150, proceed diagraph, Singapore 964.
617, 2,500 feet, turn left, heading 070.
Swiss 176 left 070, repeat altitude.
2,500 feet.
Good evening with you, holding short tango 12 in sequence 402 center.
Swiss 176.
Singapore 186, Singapore Tower, continue to hold in sequence, please.
Continue to hold in sequence, Singapore 186.
Singapore 125 uniform, contact Singapore approach now, 124.6.
124.6, 15 inform, bye-bye. Singapore approach, Singapore 15 uniform with you, 2,000 feet.
Uniform Singapore approach to
Asia
identify,
764,
climb
my
to flight level
apologies,
150, cancel speed
right
restrictions.
onto whiskey.
150, my discretion, 112 uniform.
Asia 764, thank you, no problem.
And Jetstar Asia 764, contact Singapore ground on 124.3, thank you.
Ground 124.3, thank you very much, have a good one.
You too. And Qatari 1250.
64 contact
Surface
Singapore
winds
radar
360
123.7.
degrees, 07 knots, climb 3,000 feet, maintain runway heading,
610 left heading
runway
050,
02
cleared hours
center,
approach, runway
clear
02
for
left.
takeoff.
Qatar 125, radar left approach 02 left, Swiss 176.
Climb 3,000 feet, maintain runway heading.
Climb 5,000 feet, maintain runway heading.
Six maintain 180 knots until 8 mile final, thereafter 150 knots to 4 miles.
Air India 2108, line up and wait, runway 02 center.
024.
Line up and wait, runway 02 center, Air India 2108.
Swiss 176.
Qatari 1250, contact Singapore approach 124.6.
Qatar 1250,
5 uniform, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
Bye bye.
123.7 for 15 uniform, bye bye.
Approach Singapore, correction Swiss 176.
6, standby, continue approach 102 left.
Roger, continue approach Swiss 176.
Qatar 125 Good evening, or good morning for me. Climbing 3,000 feet right now.
250 Singapore approach, good evening, identified. Climb to 6,000 feet, turn right, heading 150.
Climb 6,000 feet, can you repeat the heading please for me? Qatar 150.
6,000 feet, right heading 150.
Heading 150, climb 6,000 feet, Qatar 150, bye bye.
6 contact Singapore Tower 118.6, good night.
118.6 Swiss
Air
176
India
for your information.
2108, surface winds 360 degrees.
Two 250, climb to flight level 150, proceed direct Anito. Two 250, climb to flight level 150, proceed direct to Anito.
Qatar 1250, sorry, flight level 1250, direct to which point?
250, level 150, direct waypoint Anito.
Qatar 1250, direct to waypoint Anito, climb flight level 1250.
Singapore approach, good day, Air India 2108, passing 1,800, climbing to 3,000, Arosa 3 Alpha departure.
Singapore approach, good evening, identified. Climb to flight level 150, cancel speed restrictions.
Climb to flight level 150, cancel speed, Air India 108.
Edu duplicate recycle squawk 2203. Due to duplicate squawk, recycle squawk 2203. Air India 2108 due to duplicate squawk, recycle squawk 2203.
2203 for Air India 2108.
Qatari 1250, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
Contact radar on 123.70. Is it right?
If a 123.70.
123.70. Qatar 150. Bye bye.
Air India 2108 identified, thanks.
Singapore approach, featured 812 airborne 2500, climbing 3000.
Veg 812 Singapore approach, good evening, identified, climb to 6,000 feet.
Climb 6000 feet, featured 812.
Veg 812 cancel speed restrictions.
Cancel speed restriction for featured 812.
Air India 2108, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
123.7 Air India 2108. Good night.
Veg 812, climb to flight level 150.
6, good evening with you, passing 1,700 feet.
Cross transmission, Veg 812, climb to flight level 150.
150, featured 812.
Singapore 186, Singapore approach, good evening, identified, climb to 6,000 feet initially.
Fly 6,000 initially, Singapore 186.
Singapore 186, climb 10,000 feet.
Climb 10,000 feet, Singapore 186.
VJ 812, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
1237 for Richard 8.
Singapore approach to evening line Inter 371 position Batam. Request for clearance to Jakarta, level 350.
Line Inter 371 Singapore, approach evening. Standby for clearance. Time is 34.
371.
Singapore 186, climb to flight level 150.
Flight level 150, Singapore 186.
Line Inter 371 clearance.
Copy 371.
Line Inter 371 cleared to Jakarta. Anito 1 Juliet departure. Expect flight level 350, squawk 2266.
Clear to Jakarta, Skono HFA, Anito 1 Juliet 04, climb 350, squawk 2274, enter 371.
Line Inter 371 squawk code 2266.
6.
And Line Inter 371 information Charlie now current and report ready for pushback.
Copy information Charlie will call for pushback, enter say 71.
Singapore 186, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
Contact radar 123.7 Singapore 186. Bye.
Indonesia 369er Singapore approach.
Indonesia 369er, go ahead.
Indonesia 369er, last instructions to climb to 3,000 feet. Turn right now, heading 110, climb to 6,000 feet.
Heading 110, climb to 6,000 feet, Indonesia 369er.
Indonesia 369er, proceed direct Gures, climb to flight level 150.
Flight level 150, proceed to direct Gores, Indonesia 369er.
Singapore approach, very good evening. Singapore 278, 3000, moving 6 Alpha departure.
Singapore 278, Singapore approach evening identified, climb 6,000 feet, cancel speed restrictions.
Cancel speed restrictions and climb 6,000 feet, Singapore 278.
Singapore 278, turn left direct to Acoma.
Left direct, Coma, Singapore 278.
Singapore 278, climb flight level 150.
Climb flight level 150, Singapore 278.
Indonesia 369ers, confirm tracking for Gures.
Yes, we are directing to Gores, Indonesia 369er.
Indonesia 369er, roger, contact Singapore radar 123.7, good night.
123.7, Indonesia 369er, thank you and good night.
Singapore 278, contact Singapore radar 123.7, good night.
123.7, Singapore 278. See ya.
Singapore approach, speedbird 8023 with you passing 2200.
Speedbird 8023 Singapore, approach evening identified, climb to flight level 150, cancel speed restrictions.
Flight level 150, no speed, speedbird 8023.
Singapore approach, Skoda 469er, descending flight level 160 with you.
Skoda 469 Singapore, approach evening, descend to 7,000 feet, proceed direct to VATSIM.
Descend and maintain 7,000 feet, proceed direct to vACC, Skoda 469er.
Skoda 469, QNH 1009.
Roger, Skoda 469er.
Singapore pursuit enter 371 ready for push and stop.
Flight 371, roger, pushback and taxis approved, report ready at holding point runway 04.
Are you ready at holding point number 04 enter 371?
Yeah, 371, just be advised, negative traffic at Batam.
Confirm call you holding point runway 04 and 371.
Delta 37 affirm, call me at holding point runway 04, traffic information, negative traffic at Batam.
Roger, and 371.
Singapore approach, Indonesia 37, passing 2,700 feet.
Indonesia 37, Singapore approach evening identified, climb to flight level 150, cancel speed restrictions.
Flight level 150, cancel speed restrictions, Indonesia 37.
Speedbird 8023, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
One, two, three, decimal 7, many thanks, sir.
Scooter 469, approximately 35 track miles to touchdown, descend to 4,000 feet.
Sorry, say again, Scooter 469.
Scooter 469, 35 track miles to touchdown, descend 4,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet, Scooter 469.
Scooter 469, turn left heading 060.
Turn left heading 060, Scooter 469.
Approach Scooter 68 passing 2,000 feet.
Scooter 648, Singapore approach evening identified, climb to flight level 150.
Flight level 150, Scooter 68.
Up and wait, runway 02 center.
Runway 02 center, right Tango 12, Scooter 302.
Singapore Tower, good evening, Vietnam 650, holding point VATSIM 9, ready for departure.
Vietnam 650, continue hold whiskey and 9er, please.
Continue holding whiskey 9, Vietnam 650.
Scooter 648 cancel speed restrictions.
Cancel speed, Scooter 648.
Indonesia 37 contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
Singapore radar 1237, Indonesia 37, good day.
Scooter 302. Surface winds 360 degrees.
Scooter 469 descend
knots.
2,500 feet, 10 left heading 050.
Initial climb 3,000 feet, runway 02 center, clear for takeoff.
02 center, clear for takeoff, Scooter 302.
And initial climb 3,000 feet.
3,000 initially, Scooter 302. Singapore Tower, Dynamite Alpha Romeo at Tango, Holy Point Tango 9.
9 Mike Bravo Alpha Romeo Hilo. Singapore Tower, good evening. Continue, hold Tango 9. Expect approximately 5-minute delay.
Roger, Dynamite Alpha Romeo.
Enter 371, hot shot ready.
Enter 371, roger, surface, wind 060 degrees,
Vietnam
7 knots, climb 3,000 feet, runway 04, clear for takeoff.
Singapore Tower. Behind the landing, Airbus 320, line up and wait, runway 02 left, behind.
After arrival, aircraft landing, line runway 02 left behind, Vietnam 6 fighter.
Scooter 469 on present heading, clear ILS approach runway 02 left. Once established, maintain 180 knots until 8 mile final.
Clear ILS approach 02 left and maintain 185 knots, Scooter 469.
Scooter 469 confirm 180 knots until 8 mile final.
180 knots until 8 mile final, Scooter 469.
Scooter 302, contact Singapore approach 124.6.
124.6, Scooter 302, bye-bye.
Singapore
Tower, Malaysian 12 Echo Super, holding Tango 12.
Echo, line up and wait, runway 02 center.
Emirates 354 Super Singapore approach evening, descend to 7,000 feet, QNH is 1009er, confirm directing to VATSIM.
Descending to 7,000, QNH 1009, and we are directing to Ranto, Emirates.
9 Mike Bravo Oscar Romeo, Singapore Tower.
Scooter 302 Singapore approach.
Scooter 302 with you 3000.
Scooter 302 evening identified, climb to flight level 150.
9 Mike Bravo Oscar Alpha Romeo, Singapore Tower.
Contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
Alpha Romeo, go ahead.
9 Mike Bravo Alpha Romeo, line up, runway 02 center.
Scooter 648 contact radar 123.7.
02 center, Dynamite Alpha Romeo.
Radar 123.7, Scooter 648, bye.
Right. Scooter 302 do duplicate recycle squawk 2246.
Go ahead for Malaysian 1 Echo.
Scooter 302. Malaysian 1
Enter 371 identify, climb unrestricted flight level 150.
02 center.
Line up and wait, runway 02 center, Malaysian 1 Echo Super.
Scooter 469 at 8 miles, reduce speed 150 knots to 4 mile final. Scooter 469 at 8 miles, you reduce your speed 150 knots until 4 mile final. Scooter 469 contact Singapore Tower 118.6. Good night.
9 Mike Bravo Alpha Romeo. Oh, sorry, stand by.
Bravo, Scooter 4 with you. Approach, Scooter 469 with you.
Scooter 469 to contact tower 118.6.
118-16, good night, Scooter 469.
Good night. Scooter 302, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
123.7, Scooter 302, bye bye.
Emirates 354, descend to 2,500 feet.
Descend to 2,500, Emirates 354. Singapore approach, good evening, VATSIM, Saxio, climbing to level 3000.
Vietnam 650, Singapore approach evening identified, climb to flight level 150.
Come to flight level 150, Vietnam 650. And 371 level 15,000.
Stand by. Valentine 371, contact Singapore radar 123.7.
Mata 123.7 and 371.
For Lima with you, approaching Tango 12 and Tango.
Singapore 34 Alpha Lima, continue taxi on Tango, hold Tango 12.
Scooter 469, Singapore approach,
Continue
climb to
Tango
4,000
to
feet,
Tango
right heading 180.
holding point Alpha Lima, thank you.
Climb 4,000 feet and right heading 180, Scooter 469.
The Hilo. Nine Mike Bravo Alpha Romeo, surface winds 360 degrees at 08 knots. Climb 3,000 feet, maintain runway heading, clear for takeoff, runway 02 center.
Climb 3,000 feet, maintain runway heading, clear for takeoff, runway 02 center, Dynamite Bravo Alpha Romeo.
Emirates 354, you're going off track, turn right heading 060, descend 2,500 feet.
Turn right heading 060 and descend 2,500 to Emirates 35.
Skoda 469er, turn right heading 205.
Turn right heading 205, Skoda 469er.
Vietnam 650, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
123.7, Vietnam 650, bye bye.
9 Mike Bravo Alpha Romeo, contact Singapore approach now, 124.6.
124.6, Mike Bravo Alpha Romeo.
Emirates 354, turn left heading 050,
Station
clear as approach, runway 02
QNH,
left.
now 100.9er, no need for redirect.
Clear as approach, runway 02 left, Emirates
Singapore 816 and Singapore 176. Expect a couple of minute delay, please.
Thank you.
Manor Mike Bravo
Roger,
Alpha Romeo,
Singapore
Singapore
816.
approach identified. Climb to 4,000 feet, turn left heading 360.
Left to 360.
Singapore Tower, hello. Singapore 896 on taxiway Tango.
Dynamite Alpha Romeo.
And Singapore 8liner 6 Singapore Tower, good evening. Continue taxi Tango to holding point Tango 12. Expect a few minute delay, please.
Continue Tango to holding point Tango 12 and expecting delays, Singapore 896.
Singapore Tower, Operation 12 Echo Super on runway 02 center, waiting for ATC takeoff clearance.
Malaysian 12 Echo, I understand that. Continue hold on runway 02 center.
Copy, hold on runway 02 center, Malaysian 12 Echo Super.
Emirates 354, reduce speed 180 knots, maintain till 8 mile final.
Maintain speed 180 until 5 mile final, Emirates 354 ahead.
Emirates 354 negative, 180 till 8 mile final.
180 to 8 mile final, Emirates 354.
Skoda 469er, descend 2,500 feet, turn right heading 270.
Descend maintain 2,500 feet, turn right heading again.
Skoda 469er, turn right heading 270.
Turn right heading 270, descend maintain 2,500 feet, Skoda 469er.
Skoda 469er, request your indicator airspeed.
Airspeed 220, Skoda 469er.
Skoda 469er, roger, reduce speed 180 knots, maintain till 8 mile final.
Reduce speed 180 knots, maintain till 8 mile final, Skoda 469er.
Emirates 354, maintain 150 knots until 4 mile final. Contact Singapore Tower 118.6.
150 until 4 mile final, Emirates 354 and contact tower on 118.6.
Malaysian 1-2 Echo. The surface wind 360 degrees, 08 knots, climb 3,000 feet, runway 02 center, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 02 center and initial climb 3,000 feet from region 1 to Echo Super.
Singapore 34 Alpha Lima, Singapore Tower.
Go ahead, Alpha Lima.
Scooter 469 turn right heading 350,
Singapore
clear house
34
approach runway
Alpha
0 to
Lima,
left.
contact Singapore Tower on 118.25, please.
Roger, Tower 118.25, therefore control, have a nice evening, see you.
Singapore 896, contact Singapore Tower 118.25, please.
Tower 118.25, good night, Singapore 896.
Good night.
Singapore Tower, hello, Emirates 354 Super on the final approach, maintaining 15024 miles.
Emirates 354 Singapore Tower, good evening, surface winds 360 degrees, 08 knots, runway 02 left, clear to land.
Runway 02 left, clear to land, Emirates 354, and 3.
Singapore 816 Singapore Tower.
Go ahead, Singapore 816.
Are you ready in all respects for takeoff?
Yeah, we're ready to go immediately, Singapore 816.
Singapore 816, after the landing, Emirates Airlines Airbus 380, line up and wait, runway 02 left behind.
After the landing at Emirates A380, line up runway 02 left behind, Singapore 816.
No, Singapore 816, trigger, hold position, please.
Alright, hold position, Singapore 816.
Malaysian 12 Echo Singapore approach. Scooter 469er, reduce speed 150 knots until 4 mile final. Contact Singapore Tower 118.6.
Reduce speed 150 knots until 5 miles final.
Emirates 354, vacate
Scooter
when
469er,
able,
150
turn
until
right
4
onto
mile
whiskey.
final.
Turn right onto Whiskey, Emirates 354.
Singapore Tower, Scooter 469 inbound ILS approach 0 to left.
Scooter 469er, surface winds 360 degrees, 08 knots, runway 02 left, continue approach.
Malaysian 12 Echo Singapore radar, correction, Singapore approach.
469.
Scooter 469er, runway 02 left, clear to land.
Approach, good evening, Singapore 34 Alpha Lima, climber 3000.
Emirates 354, contact Singapore ground on 124.3.
Singapore 34 Alpha Lima Singapore approach, left identified, climb to flight level 150.
Singapore 34 Alpha Lima, contact Singapore approach 124.6. Okay, Singapore 816. After the landing, Scoot Airlines Boeing 787. Line up and wait. Runway 02 left behind.
After the landing, Scoot Airlines traffic, land up runway 02 left behind, Singapore 816.
Echo 3,000 feet after departure.
Malaysia 12 Echo Singapore approach identified, climb to flight level 150.
Climb to flight level 150 for Malaysia 12 Echo Super.
Scooter 469, Singapore Tower, welcome home. Vacate via Whiskey 5, taxi head on to Quebec, hold short of Victor.
Malaysia 12 Echo, contact Singapore radar 123.7, good night.
Sorry, vacate Whiskey 5.
Contact Singapore radar 123.7, Malaysia 12 Echo.
Scooter 469.
Singapore approach, hello, Singapore 806, passing 1,700 feet for 3,000, Mersing 6 Alpha departure.
Singapore 96, Singapore approach,
Scooter
evening identified, climb to flight level 150.
Contact Singapore ground 124, a decimal 3.
Singapore 806.
Contact Singapore ground 124.3, Scooter 469.
Singapore Tower, good evening, Korean Air 385, fully ready in sequence, Whiskey Nana.
Singapore 816, surface winds 360 degrees, 08 knots.
Singapore 34 Alpha Lima, contact Singapore radar 123.7.
Radar 123.7, thanks for call, how receiving you.
Good day.
Singapore approach, hello, Singapore 816, 1700 for 3000, emerging 6 Echo departure.
Singapore 16, Singapore approach evening identified, climb to 8,000 feet.
Climb to 8000, Singapore 816.
Singapore 816, turn left direct to Acoma.
Direct to Tacoma, Singapore 816.
Singapore 374, surface wind 360 degrees 8 knots, climb 3,000 feet, correction. Surface wind 360 degrees 8 knots, climb 3,000 feet. After airborne, turn right heading 050, runway 02 center, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 02 center, climb 3,000 feet, and after departure, heading 050. Singapore 374.
910 Singapore approach evening, squawk 2226.
Singapore Tower, Vienna 2A, hold short for runway 02 center, depot departure.
Vietnam 288, Singapore Tower, good evening,
910
hold short
identify,
at Tango
descend
13.
to 2,000
Okay.
feet, and
Hold
confirm
short,
you'll
Tango
be expecting the
13,
ILS 04.
Vienna 2A.
50,000 feet, and yes, we are taking the ILS 04.
910 Roger, via Lambert, clear ILS approach runway 04, report established.
Via clear for the ILS 04, report established, latitude 977.
Singapore 816, climb to flight level 150.
766, descending through 214 for 160, we have Kilo.
Cross transmission, Singapore 816, climb to flight level 150.
Climb to flight level 150, Singapore 816.
Singapore 896, contact Singapore radar 123.7, good night.
123.7, good night, Singapore 896.
Jetstar 766, Singapore approach evening, descend to 10,000 feet, QNH 1009.
10,000 or 1009 for Jetstar 766.
Singapore Tower, KT 765, ready for departure.
KT 765, Singapore Tower, good evening, continue taxi and hold short at the holding point.
Continue taxi and hold short at the holding point, KT 765.
Vietnam 288, line at runway 02 center.
Runway 02 centers, Vienna 2A.
Singapore 816, contact Singapore radar 123.7, good night.
Holding short of Tango 12.
123.7, Singapore 816, good day.
Singapore 734, contact Singapore approach 124.6.
Approach on 124.6, Singapore 374, thanks, bye bye.
Station calling, say again your call sign.
Singapore 176.
Singapore 176, Singapore approach evening identified, climb to flight level 150, turn left, proceed direct Acoma.
Vector 150, turn left, direct Acoma, Singapore 176.
Latitude 977, full established.
977, Roger, surface wind is 040 degrees 9 knots, QNH 1010, runway 04, cleared to land.
704, latitude 977.
Singapore approach, good day. Singapore 374 at 3,000 feet, heading 050.
Singapore 374, Singapore approach, good evening, identified, climb to 6,000 feet, turn left, heading 030.
Climb to 6,000 feet and turn left, heading 030. Singapore 374.
Singapore 374, turn left heading 350.
Left heading 350, Singapore 374.
Passing 2000 for 3000.
Cross transmission, Singapore 374 is confirmed, turn left heading 350.
Turn left heading 350, Singapore 374.
Singapore 374, thank you, and climb to flight level 150.
And climb to level 150, Singapore 374.
Vietnam 288, Singapore approach identified, climb to 6,000 feet, turn left heading 030.
Climbing 6,000 feet, left heading 030 cover.
FM 6,000 feet, heading 030.
Okay, 030 6,000, Vietnam 288. Singapore departure, good evening, Korean Air 395, heavy 3,000 feet.
Korean 395, Singapore approach, good evening, identified, climb to 6,000 feet, continue runway heading.
Runway heading 6,000 feet, Korean Air 395.
Korean Air 395, turn left heading 330.
Left 330, Korean Air 395.
Vietnam 288, climb to flight level 150.
Climbing for the 150, Vietnam 288.
Targeted on Bravo requesting time Alpha Echo 5.
Vietnam Christian, inline inter 977, taxi to standoff choice, good day.
Taxi step shoes, National 57, thank you.
Just Azure 766, descend to 4,000 feet, QNH 1009.
4,1009, Jetstar 666.
Korean Air 395, climb to flight level 130.
Climbing flight level 130, Korean Air 395.
Vietnam 288, turn left heading 330.
Turn left heading 330, Vietnam 288.
Singapore 734, proceed direct Victor Mike Romeo. Question, Singapore 374, proceed direct Victor Mike Romeo.
Direct Victor Mike Romeo, Singapore 374.
Cathay 765, passing 2000.
Cathay 765, Singapore approach evening, identified, climb 6,000 feet.
Climb 6,000 feet, Cathay 765.
Korean Air 395, proceed direct Victor Mike Romeo.
Direct Victor Mike Romeo, connect Korean 395.
Singapore 374, contact Singapore radar 123.7, good night.
Singapore radar on 123.7, Singapore 374.
Singapore 176, contact Singapore radar 123.7.
Singapore radar 123.7, decimal.
Vietnam 288, turn right heading 350.
Turn right heading 350, Vietnam 288.
Cathay 765, climb to flight level 130.
Climb to level 130, Cathay 765.
Vietnam 288, turn right heading 355.
355, Vietnam 28.
Singapore approach, hello from Singapore 47 Tango, passing 1,500 feet for 3,000.
Singapore 47 Tango, Singapore approach evening identified, climb to 8,000 feet.
Up to 8,000 feet for 47 Tango.
Korean Air 395, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
123.7 for Korean Air 395, bye-bye.
Vietnam 288, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
1227 for radar, radar 2, thank you.
Cathay 765, climb to flight level 150.
Climb flight level 150, Cathay 765.
Cathay 765, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
123.7, Cathay 765, bye.
Singapore 47 Tango, climb to flight level 150.
Up to flight level 150 for 47 Tango.
Just Azure 766, fly heading 270, descend 2,500 feet.
Heading 270 and descend 2,500, Jetstar 766.
Jetstar 766 request your indicator airspeed.
Landing in 190 for Jet 766.
Jetstar 766 roger, maintain 190 knots until established.
190 till established for Jetstar 766.
Singapore 47 Tango, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
123.7, bye-bye for now.
Singapore departure, good evening. Thai 406, passing 2,600, climbing 3,000 feet.
Thai 406 Singapore, approach good evening identified, climb to flight level 150, cancel speed restrictions.
Climb level 150, we cancel speed restriction, Thai 406.
Jetstar 766, turn right heading 350, cleared hours approach runway 02 left.
Level 210.
Cross transmission, Jetstar 766, turn right heading 350, cleared hours approach runway 02 left.
Approach Singapore 304.
Singapore 304, Singapore approach good evening, descend to 1000 feet, QNH 1009, high speed approved, deal further advised.
Descend to 1000 feet, high speed approval further advised, Singapore 304.
Jetstar 766, maintain 180 knots until 8 mile final, thereafter 150 knots till 4 mile final.
180 to 8 and 150 to 4 for Jetstar 766.
Singapore departure, hello, Thai 416, passing 2,000 feet.
Thai 410, Singapore approach good evening identified, climb to flight level 130.
Travel 130.
Jetstar 766, continue approach runway 02 left, contact Singapore Tower 118.6. Good night.
Continue approach and over to Tower 118.6. Thanks for your help, Jetstar 666. Bye-bye.
Singapore approach, Harbour Out, Scooter 653, facing flight level 176 to flight level 160.
Scooter 653, Singapore approach good evening, descend to 7000 feet, QNH 1009, high speed approved, deal further advised.
Descend to 7,000 feet, crash 100, another high speed approach, Scooter 653.
Thai 406, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
123.7, Thai 406, bye-bye.
Approach, Scooter 2 with you passing 1,500, for flight level 410.
Scooter 2 Singapore approach evening identified, climb unrestricted flight level 150, cancel speed restriction.
I'm unrestricted, flight level 150, Scooter 2.
Scooter 2 turn right heading 140.
Right heading 140, Scooter 2.
Thai 410 contact Singapore radar 123.7, good night.
Radar 1237, goodbye, Thai 410.
Scooter 2 turn right direct to Gures.
Right, direct to second waypoint, Scooter 2.
Scooter 2 direct to Gures, Golf Uniform, Romeo Echo Sierra.
Direct Gures, Scooter 2.
Singapore 304 descend to 7,000 feet.
Descend 7,000, Singapore 304.
Emirates 030, requesting climb to 10,000 feet.
Emirates 330 Super Singapore approach, good evening. Climb to 6,000 feet initially due traffic.
Emirates 030, climbing to 6,000 feet.
Scooter 2 contact Singapore radar 123.7, good night.
123.7, Scooter 2, sir.
Emirates 330 climb flight level 150.
Emirates UA 330, climb to flight level 150.
Correct, was that 040 or 020, Scooter 2, sir?
Scooter 0, right heading 040.
Right heading 040, Scooter 2, sir.
Singapore 701, surface wind 350 degrees.
Singapore approach, scooter 20, 3,000 feet, heading 040.
Scooter 20 Singapore approach, good evening. Climb to 6,000 feet and continue on heading 040.
Climb 6,000, maintain present heading, scooter 20.
Scooter 653, descend 2,500 feet.
Descend 2,500 feet to the 650.
Scooter 20, turn right heading 110.
Heading 110, scooter 20.
Scooter 20, cancel speed restrictions, expect further climb in about 1 minute.
Cancel speed restrictions and thank you, scooter 20.
Singapore approach, good evening. Singapore 701, 3,000 feet.
Singapore 701, Singapore approach evening, identify, climb to 6,000 feet.
Climbing 6,000 feet, Singapore 701.
Scooter 20, climb to flight level 150, turn right direct to Gures.
Level 150, direct Gures, scooter 20.
Scooter, correction, Singapore 304, descend to 4,000 feet.
Descend to 4,000 feet, Singapore 304.
Singapore 304, reduce speed 220 knots.
Reducing speed 220, Singapore 304.
Scooter 653, fly heading 045, reduce speed 220 knots.
Heading 045, speed 220 knots, scooter 653.
Singapore 701, climb unrestricted, flight level 150.
Flight level 20.
Unrestricted flight level 150, Singapore 701.
Emirates 330, contact Singapore radar 123.7.
Emirates 330, contacting Singapore radar 123.7.
Scooter 653, turn left, correction, fly heading 045, cleared ILS approach runway 02 left.
Heading 045, cleared ILS runway 02 left to the 650.
Singapore 304, fly heading 205.
Heading 205, Singapore 304.
Singapore 319 with you.
Singapore 319, Singapore approach, good evening, descend to 7,000 feet, QNH 1009.
7,000, QH 1009, Singapore 319.
Scooter 653, reduce speed 180 knots, maintain until 8 mile final.
180 knots until 8 mile final to the 653. Approach, good evening, Singapore 91 Alpha, with you passing 2,000 feet, climbing 3,000 feet.
Singapore 91 Alpha, Singapore approach evening, identified, climb to flight level 150, cancel speed restrictions.
Climbing to flight level 150, no speed restriction in Singapore and 1 Alpha.
Singapore 304, turn right heading 230.
Right heading 220, Singapore 304.
Singapore 304 negative, right heading 230.
230, Singapore 304.
Singapore 304, descend 2,500 feet, reduce speed 180 knots, maintain till 8 mile final. Singapore 304, descend to 2,500 feet.
Descend to 500 and release speed 180, Singapore 304.
Scooter 20, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
Singapore 33.7, Scooter 20, yeah.
Singapore 701, contact radar 123.7. Good night.
123.7 for Singapore 701. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Singapore 304, turn right heading 310.
Right heading 310, Singapore 304.
Singapore 319, turn left direct to Samco.
Back to Samco, Singapore 319.
Singapore 319, be advised, approximately 30 track master touchdown.
Roger.
Scooter 653, reduce speed 150 knots, still 4 mile final, contact Singapore Tower 118.6.
150 on Singapore final, 100 tower 118.6, Scooter 656 today.
Good day. Scooter, correction, Singapore 304, turn right heading 350, cleared out approach runway 0 to left.
Right heading 350, clear to Dallas approach runway 0 to left, Singapore 304.
Singapore 91 Alpha, confirm on the Mersing 6 Echo departure.
Singapore 1 Alpha, we were told by tower to maintain runway heading, but we can go on the Mersing 1 Echo departure now.
Singapore 91 Alpha, roger, turn left heading 340.
Left 340, Singapore 91 Alpha.
Singapore 658, Singapore radar.
Singapore 65, go ahead and you're maintaining 3000.
Singapore 658, Super Singapore, approach evening, climb to 10,000 feet.
Ground to 10,000 feet, Singapore 658.
Singapore 319, descend to 4,000 feet.
4,000, Singapore 319.
And Singapore 319, reduce speed 220 knots.
Speed 220 knots, Singapore 319.
Singapore 91 Alpha, proceed direct Victor Mike Romeo.
Direct Victor Mike Romeo, Singapore 91 Alpha.
And Singapore 91 Alpha, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
123.7, Singapore 91 Alpha, thank you, bye.
Singapore 319, can I request gate Alpha 12, please?
Singapore 319, roger, Alpha 12.
Thank you. Singapore 304, established, ILS 20 left.
Singapore,
Correction.
Singapore 304, maintain 150 knots till 4 mile final, contact tower 118.6.
Maintain 150 knots till 4 miles final, Singapore 304. And contact tower 118.6.
Singapore approach, Indonesia 833, climbing 3000.
Indonesia 833, Singapore approach, good evening. Identify, climb to flight level, climb unrestricted at flight level 150, cancel speed restrictions.
Unrestricted, climb flight level 150, no speed restrictions, Indonesia 833.
Singapore 319, descend 2,500 feet, turn left heading 050.
Down to 2,500, 050, Singapore 319.
Singapore 319 just for information. Alpha 12 is currently occupied. Ground will keep you advised again for the bay once landed.
Okay, Roger, thank you. Singapore 319. Singapore 319 located for the approach.
Singapore 319 continue approach runway 0. Clear for the IOS runway 02 left and continue.
Clear for IOS approach Singapore 319.
Singapore approach, Comlux 319, we're climbing 2,000 feet off of 02 Sim.
Stand by. Comlux 319 Singapore approach, good evening. Climb to 6,000 feet.
Up to 6,000 feet, Comlux 319.
Singapore 319 reduce speed 180 knots until 8 mile final. Thereafter 150 knots to 4 miles.
180 to 5 miles and 150 Singapore 319.
Singapore 319 180 to 8, 150 to 4. Singapore 658 climb to flight level 150.
Climb to flight level 150, Singapore 658.
Indonesia 833 proceed direct Gures.
Direct Gures. Indonesia 833.
Comlux 319 climb to flight level 130.
Flight level 120, Comlux 319.
Singapore 319 contact Singapore Tower 118.6. Good day.
186 Singapore 319, bye bye.
Indonesia 833 contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
123.7, Indonesia 833.
Singapore approach, Delta Charlie, Papa Oscar Lima, climbing 2000.
Delta Charlie Papa Oscar Lima Singapore approach, good evening. Identify, climb to 6,000 feet, turn right heading 180.
Right 180, climbing 6,000, Papa Oscar Lima.
Comlux 319 climb to flight level 150.
150 for Comlux 319.
Comlux 319 proceed right to Gures.
Say again for Complex 319.
Complex 319, direct to Gures, Golf Uniform, Romeo Echo Sierra.
Right to Gures for Complex 319.
Delta Oscar Lima, turn right heading 200, climb to flight level 150.
Stamp 150 and turning right on 200.
And approach Complex 319 with a pilot report.
Complex 319.
Pilot report, light to moderate turbulence, 8,000 to 10,000 feet over Hosba.
Roger, 8,000 to 10,000, light to moderate over Hosba, thanks. And Complex 319, contact Singapore radar 123.7, good night.
123.7, see ya.
Singapore approach, beta number 65 and 6 leading 1,500, climb to 3,000, good evening.
Vietnam 656, Singapore approach, good evening, climb to 6,000 feet.
Beta number 656, climb to 6,000.
Singapore 658, contact Singapore radar 123.7.
123.7, beta number 656.
Negative, Vietnam 656, stay on this.
Yeah?
Vietnam 656 to stay on this, that's for Singapore 658. In Singapore 658, contact Singapore radar 123.7.
Roger, beta 123.7, beta number 656, confirm.
Vietnam 656 negative, that is for Singapore 658. Singapore 658, contact radar 123.7.
Contact radar 123.7, Singapore 658.
Vietnam 656, climb to flight level 150.
Climb to flight level 150, beta 165, and remaining on your frequency.
If Delta Oscar Lima, turn right, proceed direct to Isgil.
Turn right for a seat direct to east, please.
Papa Oscar Lima, contact Singapore radar 123.7, good night.
Contacting radar and 123.7, thank you, good night.
Singapore approach, good evening, Calculax 81, 2,200 for 3,000 on the Mersing 6 Echo.
Calculax 81, Singapore approach, good evening, identified, climb to flight level 150.
Climb, flight level 150, Calculax 81.
Vietnam 656, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
Contact radar 123.7, good day, Vietnam 656.
Singapore approach, Singapore 187, good evening. Flight level 60, Singapore 187.
Singapore 187, Singapore approach, good evening. Descend via the star to 1000 feet, QNH 1009.
Descend via star to 1000, QNH 1009, Singapore 187.
Station calling unreadable. Cathay 23 Singapore approach identified. Be advised renew strength 2. I can only hear your engines. Climb to flight level 1. Climb to 8,000 feet. Calculate 81, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
133.7, calculate 1, good night.
Calculate 1 negative 123.7.
Correction 123.7.
Approach, good evening, 1,200 feet, scooter 306.
Scooter 306 Singapore approach, good evening. Identified. Climb to 8,000. Climb to 6,000 feet.
6,000, scooter 306.
Cathay 23, climb to flight level 150. Cancel speed restrictions. Cathay 23, climb to flight level 150 and cancel speed restrictions.
Cancel speed restrictions, climb of that 0, Cathay, T3.
Singapore approach, good evening, Singapore 946 Super, passing 1,300.
Singapore 946 Super, Singapore approach, good evening. Identified. Climb to 5,000 feet.
Climb 5,000 feet, Singapore 946.
Scooter 306, climb to 10,000 feet.
10,000 feet, Scooter 306.
Singapore 946, climb to 10,000 feet.
Climb to 10,000 feet, Singapore 946.
Cathay 23, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
Contact Singapore radar 123.7.
Be advised you reduce strength 2, you have a lot of background noise.
Singapore approach, good evening. Singapore 720 passing 2,000 feet for 3,000.
Singapore 720, Singapore approach, good evening, climb to 6,000 feet.
Climbing 6,000 feet, Singapore 720.
Single 23, can you repeat the forward again?
Station calling unreadable.
Singapore 23, can you please repeat the station that we have to go to?
Cathay 23, be advised reduce strength 2, you have a lot of background noise. And contact Singapore radar 123.7.
123.7, thanks for that tip.
Scooter 306, climb to flight level 140.
140, Scooter 306.
Singapore 720, climb to 9,000 feet.
Climb to 9,000 feet, Singapore 720.
Archer, good evening, Fiji 362, passing 1,500 feet.
Fiji 362, Singapore approach, good evening. Identify, climb to climb unrestricted flare to 10,000 feet.
Climb restricted, 10,000, Fiji 362.
Singapore 946, climb to flight level 130.
Climb to flight level 130, Singapore 946.
Scooter 306, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
That was for Singapore 946.
Negative. Scooter 306, contact radar 123.7. Scooter 306, Singapore approach, are you on this?
Scooter 306.
Scooter 306, contact radar 123.7.
123.7, have a nice evening, Scooter 306.
Good evening.
Singapore 852, maintain 50160.
Singapore 852, Singapore approach, good evening. Maintain flight level 160, standby for further in about 30 to 40 miles.
Roger, maintain flight level 160, Singapore 852.
Singapore 946, climb to flight level 150.
Climb to flight level 150, Singapore 946.
Singapore 720, climb to flight level 150.
Climb to flight level 150, Singapore 720.
Malaysian 7 Charlie Echo, Singapore approach.
Charlie Echo, 3,000 feet after departure.
Malaysian 7 Charlie Echo, Singapore approach, good evening. Identified, climb to 6,000 feet.
Climb to 6,000 feet, Malaysian 7 Charlie Echo.
Singapore 946, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
123.7, thanks, bye, Singapore 946.
VD 362, climb through flight level 150. VD 362, climb flight level 150. Cross transmission, VD 362, climb to flight level 150.
Climb to flight level 150, VG 362.
And the other station calling, say again. Singapore 187, descend to 7,000 feet. Be advised, approximately 50 track miles to touchdown. Singapore 187, Singapore approach.
Singapore 187, go ahead.
Singapore 187, descend to 7,000 feet. Be advised, you're approximately 50 track miles to touchdown.
Descend to 7,000, 50 track mile, Singapore 187.
VG 362, proceed direct to Gures.
Proceed direct to Gures, VG 362.
Singapore 720, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
Singapore radar on 123.7, Singapore 720, good night.
Singapore 852, maintain flight level 160.
Singapore 852, maintain flight level 160, expect further descent in 40 miles.
Descent in 40 miles, Singapore 852.
Singapore 850, expect your descent at 40 miles. Malaysian 7 Charlie Echo, climb to flight level 150.
Climb to flight level 150, Malaysian 7 Charlie Echo.
VG 362, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
123.7, VG 362, good night.
Singapore approach, good evening. Emirates 392 Super is at 2,200, climbing 3,000.
Emirates 352 Super, Singapore approach, good evening. Identified, climb to 6,000 feet.
Up to 6,000 feet, Emirates 392 Super.
Emirates 392, confirm you're tracking on the Mersing 6 Echo departure.
We've got a Victor Mike Romeo 6 Echo departure, Emirates 392 Super.
Emirates 392, affirm, seems you're still continuing on runway heading. Turn left now, proceed to Acoma.
Turn left heading Acoma, 392 Super.
Emirates 392, just confirm, did tower instruct you to continue runway heading earlier, just to double check?
No, I'm having issues with my autopilot, but it should be going to coma and VMR next, 392 Super.
Roger, thanks. And MS 392, climb to flight level 150.
150, MS 392 Super.
Relation 7 Charlie Echo, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
Contact Singapore radar 123.7, Relation 7 Charlie Echo.
Singapore 187, descend to 4,000 feet, reduce speed 220 knots.
Descend to 4,000, reduce speed 220 knots, Singapore 187.
Singapore 106 with you, climbing 1,300 feet.
Singapore 106, Singapore approach evening, identified, maintain 3,000 feet initially.
Maintain 3,000 feet initially, Singapore 106.
Singapore 852, you are not cleared to descend. Maintain now flight level, correction, maintain 1,000 feet, QNH is 1010.
1,000 feet and QNH 1010, Singapore 852.
Singapore 852, just confirm 1,000, 11,000 feet.
11,000 feet, Singapore 852.
Singapore 106, climb to 6,000 feet.
Climb 6,000 feet, Singapore 106.
Emirates 392, contact Singapore radar 123.7. Good night.
1237 Emirates 392 Super. Good night.
Singapore 187, descend 2,500 feet, turn right heading 210.
Descend 2,500, turn right heading 210, Singapore 187.
Singapore 106, climb to 10,000 feet.
Climb to 10,000 feet, Singapore 106.
Singapore approach, good evening, I'm up to Singapore 16 Charlie on 3,000 feet.
Singapore 16 Charlie, Singapore approach, good evening, climb to 6,000 feet, identified.
Climb 6,000.
Singapore 852, descend to 7,000 feet.
Descend to 7,000 feet, Singapore 8. Descend to 7,000 feet, Singapore 852.
Affirm.
Singapore approach, Singapore 187. Is it possible to assign a bay from Terminal 2 instead? Singapore 187.
Singapore 187, roger, expect Echo 26.
Bay Echo 26, Singapore 187, my Tango.
Singapore 187, turn right heading 280, reduce speed 180 knots, maintain till 8 mile final.
Turn right heading 280, reduce speed to 180 until 8 mile final, Singapore 187.
Singapore 106, climb to flight level 130.
Climb to flight level 130, Singapore 106.
Singapore 16 Charlie, climb to 11,000 feet.
Climb 11,000 feet, Singapore 16 Charlie.
Singapore 187, turn right heading 350, cleared as approach runway 02 left.
Turn right heading 350, 02 left, iOS cleared, Singapore 187.
Singapore 106, climb to flight level 140.
Climb flight level 140, Singapore 106.
Singapore departures, Malaysian 302 has departed runway 02 left, passing through 2,700 for 3,000.
Malaysian 302, Singapore approach, good evening, identified, climb to 6,000 feet.
On 6,000 feet, Malaysian 302.
Singapore 106, climb to flight level 150.
Climb to flight level 150, Singapore 106.
Singapore 16 Charlie, climb to flight level 150.
Climb to flight level 150.
Malaysian 302, climb to 10,000 feet.
On to 10,000, Malaysian 302.
Singapore 106, contact Singapore radar 123.7, good night.
Contact radar 123.7, good night, Singapore 107.
Singapore 852, descend to 4,000 feet.
Descend to 4,000 feet, Singapore 852.
Singapore 187, 02 left, local established. Singapore 7.
Singapore 187, continue approach runway 02 left at 8 miles, reduce speed 150 knots to formal final.
Continue approach 02 left, reduce 150 to 4 miles final, Singapore 187.
Singapore 187, contact Singapore Tower 118.6, good night.
Contact Tower 118.6, Singapore 187, thank you, good night.
Singapore 16 Charlie, contact Singapore radar 123.7, good night.
123.7, good night.
Malaysian 302, climb to flight level 150.
150, Malaysian 302.
Singapore 852, turn right heading 220.
Turn right heading 220, Singapore 852.
Malaysian 302, contact Singapore radar 123.7, good night.
1237, see ya.
Singapore 852, descend 2,500 feet, reduce speed 220 knots.
220 knots, 2,500 feet, Singapore 852.
Singapore 852, turn right heading 260.
Turn right heading 260, Singapore 852.
Singapore 852, reduce speed 180 knots.
180 knots, Singapore 852.
Singapore 852, turn right heading 350, cleared IELTS approach runway 02 left.
Turn right heading 250 and clear for iOS 02 left.
Singapore 852, turn right heading 350.
350, Singapore 852.
Hello.
Singapore 852, maintain 150 knots until 4 mile final. Contact Singapore Tower 118.6.
150 now on final and contact tower 118.6. Singapore 852. Thank you.